My name is Maddy Ipema. I am graduating from the BA Creative Writing program, and I'm going to be reading an excerpt from a collection of essays that I'm currently working on that is untitled. My great-great-grandmother was born a runner. She received news that the British colonies were looking for laborers to work and tend to the sugar plantations in the island of Trinidad. The deal was you were to work long, treacherous hours under the blazing sun for free for 5 years. During those 5 years, you would be given a place to sleep and enough food to keep you going, and after you served your time, you were given freedom and land. She knew in order to be completely free that she would first have to imprison herself. The only possessions she brought with her were her 2 baby sisters, their hands gripping hers, her carry-on. She knew if she left them behind, the same fate would come to haunt them. I imagine her trying to explain the dangers of impeding womanhood to 2 pairs of sleepy, youthful eyes, looking up at her, beckoning and challenging her. What do you say back to womanhood when it has betrayed you? I imagine her tiny brown body bent over, illuminated by the sun, beating the grass raw and trying to turn something so bitter into clumps of sugar. She would end up striking the attention of the plantation owner himself, a 30-year-old man with Portugal descent, skin fair and cheeks the color of thorny roses from too much time in the sun. She would have his children because she wanted to. When all is said and done, she keeps her children and kicks him off her property. Her acres of land are bountiful and eerily silent. She made her own house out of discarded leafy palms as the roof, the foundation out of dried red clay and earthy mud. This was no house made out of flimsy playing cards. This house was only allowed to fall if she granted it permission. She grew her own vegetables, milked her own milk from her cow named Mincible. She made her grandchildren sneak into the chicken's coop in the morning and hunt for eggs to cook for breakfast. In her old age, my great-great-grandmother birthed my grandma's first son in that house, cut his umbilical cord, and taught my grandmother how to breathe through a swarm of blood. My grandfather is only about 5 feet tall, with skin the color of fresh soil and arms filled with rage. He began to beat on my grandmother until her body became tattooed with imprints of his hands pressing into her, black and blue bruises glistening like stars when the sun exposed her skin. This part of her life is called observing and scavenging. She stole and hoarded coins that she shook out of his work pant pockets that she would later have to clean and iron for him, and collected them like seeds. She was saving up and watching out. She was going to break free. When I ask my grandmother why she came to America, she always gives me one single answer, although I know there must have been many orbiting her mind. She tells me that she came to America to protect my mother's womanhood. From the moment I was born, I have never known my grandmother to have a partner. It has always just been Nana. And in weak moments, when I find myself walking a path that I know and am forced to walk alone, I ask her how she did it all. I ask her knowing that the only right answer there ever will be is time. I am supposed to be the woman who knocks out all the pain and sorrow with just my legs. What am I to say to them? Them who tore through men like chains, the woman who felt love for a week and then nothing but pain for years. I am afraid every day that I will not be able to be like you. I tell my grandmother this in ghostly whispers and muffled cries. Sometimes I don't even have to tell her at all. She can just feel it bubbling and churning underneath my expression. She just laughs, a spooky, hollow laugh all deep from her belly, and she tells me, "Darling, don't you see that you already are? You have my blood in your veins." I look down at my forearms, and there's a river of the saddest blue I have ever seen running down them. My veins like the ocean that my great-great-grandmother sailed across, my skin pure and free from pain. My veins like my womanhood, a path I was meant to follow that has always been cleared for me.